All right, guys, we got to get going into this video. Got a lot to talk about because, look, last video, people got a little mad at me. We'll talk about that in a bit because look, the bottom line is we have to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 scalping situation and an update on that. That's actually really good news for those of you who don't have pre-orders yet and are still hoping to get some and actually get it on launch day. So that's going to be a fun one to talk about. We have some other stuff going on, some leaks going on, something dealing with obviously the next generation of Pokemon and so much more. Look, the Nintendo Switch 2 news doesn't stop just because the weekend arrives, and I'm here to deliver it to you. After I remind you, we are giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 right now. You can go ahead and enter in the link in the pinned comment or the description. I wish everybody luck there. And look, before we get into this scalping situation, did you guys know that because I'm giving away like 4 Nintendo Switch 2s in total between now and launch, I'm apparently a scalper, or I'm just as bad as a scalper? That's what some naysayers are saying. But here's the thing. Outside of the fact that giveaways are the exact opposite of scalping, I actually am not making this any harder for people to pre-order. We're going to talk about this because first we have to go look at the scalpers. And look, this is what we have right now. These are actually sold listings. These are ones that have actually sold. People have actually bought these. You can see the sold here on April 26th. So you see they're selling for like $675, $690, $675. This is actually somebody trolling. I can't believe people are even buying that. It's a picture. People are trying to troll the scalpers. Anyway, $695, $670, $650. So you can kind of see that actual Nintendo Switch 2 units are going anywhere between $650 and $700. This one's selling for $734. A couple up there selling for $750. People are obviously rushing to eBay that have FOMO, and they're trying to get their hands on a Nintendo Switch 2 because it was a pretty chaotic 12-hour period of when they went up for pre-order and when GameStop did pre-orders, and they sold out, and it was frustrating, and there was just a lot of problems getting pre-orders. But something happened last night that was just a nice reminder that, guys, you really shouldn't be paying scalpers jack shit. And no, I'm not a scalper because I'm giving away because there's going to be so many opportunities to actually pre-order this. So as we head on over to my Twitter here, because I took a screenshot of this last night. You see I posted this. What time did I post this at? 1:07 a.m. It was already up for 40 minutes at that point. You can see here that last night they went back up for pre-order on Walmart. And they were available for hours, all the way until like 7 or 8 a.m. They were available for a long period of time. Now, they have taken down the listings at this point. But the point was they were taking pre-orders for a heck of a long time. A bunch of people got their orders in. A lot of people are happy about it. And what's cool about this is it's a nice reminder, and I've always known this, and a lot of other people don't know, there's going to be multiple waves of pre-orders for Nintendo Switch 2, both at GameStop, Walmart, Target, and Best Buy. They're all going to have multiple waves. That initial wave is not the only chance you get to pre-order this damn thing. There are even some GameStop stores, and you need to call ahead of time, that still have a few in-store orders in stock. Not a lot, but there are select stores that still haven't sold out of their in-store allocation. So the fact that people are running around and like buying scalped units, to me, is really weird. It's this FOMO thing that we're not even done with pre-order season. One, Nintendo has their wave of pre-orders beginning on May 8th. They said there will be multiple waves all the way to launch, so you have that to consider as another avenue to possibly get a Nintendo Switch 2. And there's going to be multiple pre-order waves at these various retailers. We just had the second wave, whether it was from canceled orders or bot orders or whatever. We just had that happen at Walmart. Actually, yesterday throughout the day, there was about 5 different instances the Nintendo Switch 2 came back in stock at GameStop as well. Guys, there's going to be more pre-order waves for launch units. You just need to follow accounts like Jake Randall, Wario64, and others over on X, or yeah, really X is probably the best place. I've been over on Blue Sky and other places. X is still like the best place to get this information. So really follow these people because they are letting you know when things go back in stock. Jake Randall sometimes even gets tips ahead of time, so he's going to start a live stream, and stuff like that. Unfortunately, a lot of the things go in stock in the middle of the night. That's the bad thing. You know how the pre-orders were originally, popping up at like midnight Eastern? Yeah, that happens a lot with restocks as well. So you got to have to keep that in mind. But guys, there's going to be so many opportunities to pre-order this system. If you don't have a pre-order yet and you want one, you're still going to be able to get one. Of course, that doesn't mean that everything is all hunky-dory, and I made sure to change things around here. I'm not from where this town is listed on the website. I'm not even logged in. But You can see here, this is actually the one of the listings is down. I just wanted to show that, like, hey, after they sold out today, Walmart just killed the listing. I don't know if they're going to make a new listing later or if maybe that was the final pre-order wave for Walmart. I have no idea, but they killed the listing. The point is, it was up for a long time. Lots of people got their orders in. I'm not hearing about those orders being canceled. So I just want you guys to keep this in the back of your mind that there's going to be more waves. And so you just got to pay attention. You just got to be on top of things. And Nintendo still has their waves as well. Please don't resort to the scalpers. And obviously you can enter my giveaways as well if you want an extra chance to get one right there. Kind of like a lottery. I know it's not technically a lottery. It's a free giveaway, but, you know, random chance to win. All right, let's go ahead and get some other news. I don't want to sit here and focus exclusively on the pre-order situation because I actually don't think the pre-order situation is as bad as it's been the last 5 years, but obviously until everyone has one that wants one and it's readily available on store shelves, that's going to be a problem. And one final note, I know I said I want to be done with this. Walmart will have a handful of units not pre-ordered in person at every single Walmart. So you can always like go there at like midnight, wait till they open, and possibly get one that way as well at launch. So again, lots of ways you can still get one if you're dedicated to it. Let's go ahead and dive into the next piece of news. And we have an idea of how the Switch 2 box might compare to the Switch OLED box. And we have to say might because we have to be sure that these dimensions are correct, even though they are listed. So we're over here on the Switch 2 Reddit, and it says, taking the dimensions from Amazon Spain, which is maybe wrong because the numbers are logically in millimeter, but text says centimeter. The Switch 2 box is 22 by 22 by 10.7 centimeter. The Switch OLED box is 25 by 20 by 9.8 centimeters. So not like super smaller, but you can kind of get an idea here, like the Switch OLED box, Switch 2 box. I wouldn't be surprised if they shrunk the packaging again, even though the unit's bigger. Bottom line is they're obviously trying to make the packaging as cheap as possible, and you can argue as economical as possible as well. So this person obviously did mock-ups here to kind of show how it compares both the lengthwise and height and all of that. You see the width is about the same. But yeah, guys, I honestly think that this is just interesting to see that it is smaller than the Switch OLED box. Having different dimensions than any current Switch box as well is just obvious that they should do that just to help it stand out. Now, how about a mode that we all want in Nintendo Switch 2, but haven't talked about much? There's these modes in some games called Spectator Modes. Things like Splatoon has a Spectator Mode. That's how you can do like live commentary of esports. Well, have we seen any evidence of Spectator Modes on Switch 2? Actually, we have. We technically might have saw it a little bit during the Treehouse footage, but they didn't focus on that mode. And you know what? It's in Dragon Drive. So I am at the official Switch 2 experience in Milan right now, and a Nintendo employee asked obviously whether the Spectator Mode, and you could simply screen is a game feature in the retail version of Dragon Drive. He confirmed that you can watch your friends play through it online in the retail version. So in other words, look, it's just one game, but Spectator Modes are going to be in for Switch 2 games. Kind of a little minor piece of news, but just something to throw in there that it's in the final retail version and you can do it online. We also have some leaks over here of internal parts of the Switch 2. Some of these leaks coming out of like Brazil. We're not going to go over the Brazil ones because they were just for legal listings there. They don't show us anything new. We do have some like board shots and some cutouts and stuff like that. None of this is like the most like exciting of stuff today, especially now that we have the Switch 2 kind of out in the wild that the Switch 2's experiences. Like these are clearly like Joy-Con boards or something like that. Cutouts for God knows. I don't even know. Is that like the main motherboard? I'm not even sure those cutouts are for. You can see some of the actual rails there before they get painted and all of that. Probably black underneath there. You can see an official Nintendo USB-C cable. Again, nothing super exciting. Just some minor stuff, but still fun to pay attention to. And now we get into a little bit more exciting. How about the screen icons? We've actually known this for a bit if you paid attention, but we haven't talked about it on the channel about the screen icons. They're round. So I think we've always known this for really since April 2nd, if you paid close attention. But you can see the original Switch icons were square. These ones are round. Again, a very minor story, but also something that we never officially pointed out on the channel. Want to make sure we get to. And then we get to the big one. Okay, this is the story besides the scalping that I really wanted to talk about today because it deals with an exclusive game, reportedly exclusive game for Nintendo Switch 2 in 2026. Now, we all know we're getting Pokemon Legends ZA later this year. It's a cross-gen game. It's on Switch 1 and Switch 2, along with Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, which is on Switch 1 and Switch 2. But we've heard rumors based on the Terra leak. Yes, the same Terra leak that Nintendo is going after legally. that Gen 10 was going to be next year, and apparently exclusive to Switch 2. We're heading over to Central Leaks. They're not always the most reliable for everything, but this comes from the Terra Leak, so I think it's pretty reliable. It says, get ready for an oceanic adventure. It's true. We can confirm that Pokemon Gen 10, codenamed Gaia, will take place in the Cyclades. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, the Cyclades. This game is planned for release next year exclusively for Nintendo Switch 2, and you can kind of get an idea. I think this is like in the Greek islands, if I remember right. It's been a while since I've actually went and looked at the Greek island map, but I believe, and I'm just looking at the names seem very Greek to me, so I think that that's where this is. You guys can correct me, of course. I'm not a map historian or anything, but kind of interesting because if it does take place here, it's going to be like islands, like a bunch of different islands and stuff, which I think would be really fascinating for a Pokemon game, an open world Pokemon game at that. Can you imagine the methods of travel, and what if there's some underwater crazy stuff going on? And look, I don't know. This to me looks pretty cool. Obviously, we don't know if all the islands will be in or what it is, but this is just obviously what's floating out there. You see 1 million views already on this. Pretty big rumor. Or a leak. I guess we can call it a leak because it comes from the Terra Leak stuff, but I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think about it down below, because I don't know if I'm that excited for Gen 10 yet, but I haven't seen it, right? Like, we're still trying to get ZA out the door and hoping that game is working well, let alone worrying about Gen 10. So, all right. I think we can wrap things up there. I don't have a whole lot more for you today. We'll have probably another video tomorrow, live stream maybe tonight. I'm still going back and forth on if we're doing one tonight, but I want to thank you guys for being here. It's been amazing. We're on a journey here all the way to Switch 2's launch. Shout out to Paul Gale Network. He's the one making all those shorts, those countdown shorts some of you guys see every single day. So shout out to him. Shout out to my thumbnail artist, Mason Conrad. He makes a majority of my thumbnails, not all of them. Some I make myself. If you go look at the channel, I think you can tell which ones are professionally done and which ones are by me. Shout out to him as well. I want to also give a special shout out to Eric Moore, who's been helping me not just secure those Nintendo Switch shoes to give away to you guys, but also just been helping out with the podcast. Shout out to the rest of the podcast team as well, Thunderstash Gaming and Gamer Classic. I know this might seem like, oh, I just won an award and I just want to thank everyone, but I didn't win anything. All I'm thankful for is that I'm here doing this for a living. This is kind of cool if you think about it, that this is my job now. So thank you guys. Thank you, all of you. Thank you to my whole support team, my fiance, my kids, my dog even. Man, we're on one hell of a journey with Switch 2, aren't we? Catch you guys in the next video.